It will be a pretty incredible story if Josh Bynes is able to continue the level of play that he showed Sunday against the Chargers. But for now, let's just appreciate what he did and try to break it down. Of course, Josh Bynes played on our Super Bowl team in 2012. In fact, I think he had the last tackle of the Super Bowl game on that crazy ending that we had there. But in any case, Josh Bynes settles this defense down. That should be obvious. This is a hurry up by the Chargers. We actually get 12 men on the field penalty. Josh Bynes is in the right place. He's not only in the right place himself, he's putting people in the right place. Now, it didn't necessarily happen on this play. I'm going to break that down in more detail a little bit later as the last play we cover in the video. The first one I really want to cover in depth is this toss play. They had ran toss, the Chargers, multiple times coming into this game, and it was very effective. Not with Josh Bynes. He's clearly reading the back, and it's a trigger for him. As soon as that back takes an open step, he's gone. A great angle, playing with reckless abandon at his age. Again, a guy who's been around in the NFL since 2011. I think he played on Auburn's national title team in 2010. The angles he took, how decisive he was. Here's the all-22 of this play. You'll get a great view of the angle that he takes here. I mean, Josh Bynes did everything. He played well against the run, played well against the pass. I don't know how he can top this, really, to be honest with you. And after a performance like that, we can't keep him off the field, at least for this week. Of course, it's a unique situation for him. He gets to play against the Bengals, who he had 99 tackles for last season. Here's an example of him, and it's something that our inside linebackers have not done. I guess Malik Harrison does. Basically, stuffing a lead blocker, condensing a hole so that the back has to cut back. So that's Jarrett Cook he's taking on, who's a huge tight end, knocking him backwards. Now, of course, Bynes ends up on the ground, but he forces the running back to cut it back to his help. Josh Bynes is hyper aware. I think he tells Malik Harrison to cover the back on this play. I could be wrong. Bynes is taking a zone drop. Harrison appears to be playing man on the back. You'll see him swing or flare out to our right here in a moment. So Bynes is pointing at something. And then watch his awareness. Okay, he's got no work. Watch his helmet. I mean, he's got multiple routes coming in front of him and then two outside of him, and then he's tracking the drag coming from the other side of the field. Of course, this is a great play where he knocks Williams down to the ground and breaks up the pass. I mean, just explosive plays along with awareness and getting people in the right place. Here's a run play. It's a great read by him. It's a one-back situation, so I'm not sure what he's reading. But watch his fundamentals and his technique, how square he is. Harrison's the only other inside linebacker we have that moves like that. It's really teaching tape from an inside linebacker standpoint in terms of how to move and what shoulder to fit the back on. A couple more run plays before we finish up with some pass drops by Bynes. This one he's going to knock it back to Patrick Queen. Now the guard does kind of expand him a little bit. That guard's 330 pounds. Josh Bynes knocks it back so Patrick Queen can do what he does, which is run and make plays. So this dynamic between those two is working right now, at least when they're running the ball at Josh Bynes' side. Who knows how it would work out the other way, because Patrick Queen doesn't take on blocks like Josh Bynes just did. His patience is just really unique on this play, and also his ability to move an offensive lineman with one arm. So he's the only inside linebacker lined up from tackle to tackle right here. Watch him stay in this backside gap and then use his right arm to post this lineman and push him into the hole. So he's staying in his gap, and he's condensing that lineman back into his help. Just amazing, if you ask me. Josh Bynes is going to help our DBs and our nickel safeties in coverage because he's going to give them leverage. He gets in the window of this three-step drop pass to the number 2 receiver, forcing Herbert to check it down to a running back. These are things that had not happened consistently this year, no matter who we had on the field at inside linebacker. He gets in this window right on the hash, which he's a hash protector in a lot of our coverages. And then conceptually, we want the ball thrown down to those running backs so then we can come up and make tackles. Of course, if you get a tipped pass there, we could get a pick or something like that. Here, he's going to have multiple receivers. One receiver, the tight end, runs through his zone. Bynes is great at opening up and getting his eyes on the outside receiver, and that is a definite weakness for our young inside linebackers. Now, from the end zone angle, you'll kind of see maybe he expands a little bit too quickly because this running back or this fullback is open. But point being, Josh Bynes is aware of the routes outside of him because he's looking there. And that's something that a lot of our young inside linebackers have not done so far this year. So then let's go back to the first pass play that I showed you. I cannot stress enough, or hopefully I can explain it well enough to illustrate how great of a play this is. Inside linebackers across all levels, but particularly in the NFL, they play so many different coverages that there are some times where they get confused or they just take the first route that shows up. There's 3 routes there, definitely 2 that he should have some awareness of as he's playing the low hole between the hashes. And we'll run it back. Watch what he does with his head. Watch his head be on a swivel. Neither of those 3 routes is the one that Herbert wants. I guess that Herbert's actually checking down here, but look at Bynes. Bynes stays to the fourth route that develops in his window or in his area and almost makes a pick. To me, that's just an incredible play. And if I didn't explain it well enough to convince you, watch it a couple times or watch some other pass plays to see what our young linebackers do when they get people crossing in front of them or seam routes going outside of them. Look, I don't know that Josh Bynes can continue this level of play. I don't know what he grades out as because we have no awareness of those things. But to me, he may have just played a perfect game as an inside linebacker. Very little mistakes, extremely technical and sound, and the passion that he brought for the fact that he's been on the practice squad for so long, I think was obvious. I hope he can bring this level of play again because we got to get him on the field and find out if our defense is going to be this good all year. Let me know what you guys think of the video in the comments section and what impact you think Bynes can have on our linebackers and the defense as a whole.